Harvey's Brewery Christmas Ale.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. There is no sun out there. It's actually fucking raining. And it's supposed to be summer. It's July. So what do you drink in July? You drink Christmas Ale. Well, I do anyway. This is one from the Harvey's Brewery. They're based in a place called Lewes in Sussex. And they've got quite a good range of traditional British beers. I've reviewed a few of them on the channel. I like what they do, and I had a little bit of a spree the other day on, I think it was Noble Green, and I bought quite a few of their beers, and I'm gradually working my way through them. Now this is the Christmas Ale, which they've called a barley wine. Now there's a whole debate, if you like, about the classification of barley wine, old ale, Christmas ale, winter warmers, keeping ale, October ale, March, is it March ale? I don't know. Just they all fall under the same sort of specification, if you like. And that specification is high ABV, very malty, and typically British, using British hops like Challenger, Fuggles, Goldings, East Kent Goldings, Fuggles, etc., etc. I really like that style. I think it's subjective how you classify them. Everybody could probably have a different opinion on what is, a barley wine and an old ale, or, all the names, October ales, keeping ales, whatever you want to call them. To me, barley wine is quite sweet. Some of them have like a wine-like quality, and they also have high ethanol or spirit alcohol content that you can taste and smell. And to be honest, I'm not a massive fan of barley wine. This does fall into that category. They class this as a barley wine, and if you're gonna class it as a barley wine, in my opinion, it has to fall into that sort of category. My archetypal barley wine is the gold label stuff, and to be honest, I didn't really like that. It's too sweet. It's very syrupy and sweet, and to be honest, I'm not a fan. But they've described this as being very sort of, how would I put it, a cross between, they describe it as a cross between Christmas pudding and red wine. And I fucking hate wine, you know that, don't you? On the side of the bottle, it's got a traditional barley wine. The biscuit malt and vinous fruit palate is balanced by a strong hop bitterness. It's warming and reflects the spirit of Christmas. Yeah, so that's why I'm fucking drinking it in July. It's a recipient of Finland's, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Well, I am. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it, and here I go trying to pronounce it. Oletsera Olrivetki Award for Excellence, fulfilling the Christmas beer regulations described in Alexis Kivi's novel Seven Brothers. Now that description is, it has to be stronger than peasant ale. So he's obviously talking about Budweiser or Miller Lite now. This was written in 1929. I could be wrong. It's got to be dark red, and it foams in the pail. That means, as it's boiling, it produces foam. I don't know, that probably does. If you're going to have a mug of it, basically you would not fail to have dizziness in the brain. That's how they've classified it, or they were the regulations that he put in his book. And to be honest, at 7.5%, you're probably going to have fucking dizziness in the brain. I know I tried their Imperial Stout yesterday, Prince of Denmark, 7.5%. Fucking hell, I knew about that afterwards, I'll tell you. Give me a headache. Let's investigate this beer. Right, it's 275ml. It's 7.5% in the volume. Contains malted barley and oats. Okay. Christmas, they call it a Christmas ale here. And a barley wine, so take your pick. Brewed and bottled at Harvey and Son in Lewis. Lewis, this course is in East Sussex, and they say that on the bottle. It's the first time I've seen it, I think, on a bottle of beer, but if you bring it back, they'll wash it and reuse it again. That's a big thing in Europe, you know, putting the deposit on the bottle and bringing them back. And they used to do that when I was a kid with the lemonade bottles and the beer bottles. They don't do it anymore, I don't know why. It's ridiculous. But there you go. I've just read out what's on the other side, so yeah, that is it. Here's the cap, here's the label, here's the cap, fucking hell. There is the label. Cap is just plain white with a date on it. What is the date? December 21. I'd imagine you could drink that any time after as well, because it's, you know, it's a barley wine. It's full of, I'd imagine it's bottle conditioned. You would have thought so. Usually them barley wines and them old ales are bottle conditioned. So let's get it open. Let's see what's going on. Right, I'm using this thing, and it mangles the caps, but it don't matter, it's just a plain white cap, so there it goes, up into oblivion. Actually, that hasn't mangled it too much. Right, what are we getting on the nose? Wow, it's really fruity, but there is some spirit alcohol on that. And yeah, it does, it smells like wine. Oh, and now, yeah, there's dark fruit. I don't know whether I'm going to like this or not, but let's get it in the glass. Yeah, and it's looking like a barley wine to me. I'll try and get a bit of a head on this. Well, yeah, maybe too much of a head. I thought with that spirit alcohol in it, it was going to dissipate quite quickly. But obviously not. Yeah, so you fucked that up as well, didn't you? You twat. Right, there it is in the glass. It is a deep chestnut colour. Lovely red. Three finger head. The three finger head is, of course, the way I've poured that. What are we getting on the nose out of the glass? Yeah. Oh, it's super fruity, that is. But there is some definite spirit alcohol. This could be the barley wine that I don't like. If it's very sweet, then I'm going to be slightly disappointed. But that's just personal taste. If you do like that Golden Pride, Yorkshire Stingo, that sort of ale with the high spirit alcohol and the sweetness on it, then you're probably going to like this. But I haven't even tasted it yet, but this is what I'm getting in my mind. I'm hoping I'm going to be proved wrong. So let's give it a go. God, that is super fruity. And when I say fruity, I mean dark fruit, dark Christmas pudding fruit, as they say. But what I like about this, your first mouthful, you're thinking, oh no, this is going to be like another really sweet spirit alcohol type barley wine. And it's going towards there, and it's as if I just pulled the brakes just as it's gone over that line, and you think, oh no, maybe not. I think this is the furthest you can go without going over that line of making it too sweet and having the high spirit alcohol. It's quite nice. I like this. they say on the bottle there's hop bitterness. I'm not getting that at all. I'm getting masses of fruit. I'm getting the malt. There is some caramel and a little touch of coffee on there. A little touch of coffee, a little touch of toffee malt on there. But this, what I do notice about it, the body, and this has got, I think this has got wheat in it. Is it wheat or oats? It's got one of the two. I think it's wheat. Get the fucking bins on properly, one-handed. Yeah, it contains oats. The body on this isn't as big as I would have liked. But that's just a minor gripe. Now, I'm not comparing this to Kestrel Super before you start, alright? But there's a sweetness you can get in beer. There's a sweetness like this, or the sweetness you get in stuff like Kestrel, even to an extent the Golden Pride, you know, that syrupy sweetness. Some people like that. I'm not a fan, I have to say. And this hasn't got that. This is more of a fruity type sweetness, which is nice. I'm assuming that's coming from the yeast. But it goes down quite nice. It's very drinkable. You wouldn't think it's 7.5%. I'm not really getting the warming, to be honest. The only alcohol warming that you'd expect. Now I was getting that with their Imperial Stout. Not getting that at all. But if you can imagine all the fruits that you get in a Christmas pudding, the dark fruits like raisins, black cherry, sultanas, even to a certain extent the nuttiness that you get, like walnut or something like that, you're getting that in here. But there's also like a, what they call it wine, I'm thinking it's more like a sherry like quality, you know, that rich, sweet, spirit type flavour, which mixes well with the fruit. It's what I would consider a really good Christmas ale. It just, to me though, it just lacks a little bit more body. If it had a bit more body in it, that would be superb. But it's nice. I do like this. And I was dreading it because I bought it when it said Christmas ale, and then when I got it home, and when it says barley wine, I think barley wines can go, as I said before, it can go a different way. You can get a lot of sweetness in that. You're getting sweetness, but it's fruity sweetness, and it's natural. It doesn't taste like it's had added sugar. Now the Yorkshire Stingo, and I know Sam Smiths are renowned for putting, you know, sugar in there, cane sugar they call it, not refined sugar, but regardless, it just tastes really sweet. This hasn't got that intense sweetness. It's got more like a fruity sweetness, like a fructose type sweetness. It's quite nice. The biscuit malt that they talk about, it's more like caramel to me. But that could be the fruit that's influencing it. But I don't think, is it biscuit malt? I think it's a toss up between, or a mix, a hybrid biscuit caramel malt, because it certainly feels like caramel malt in the mouth. But whatever it is, on the finish it's quite subtle. Now I'm thinking about it, there is a slight biscuit. It's like Garibaldi, like a Garibaldi biscuit, you know, with the sweetness, the raisins, and that's what it's reminding me of. Fucking hell, look how much I've drunk on it. That's testimony to how drinkable it is. So I'm going to put the brakes on that now, because that's 7.5%, and I did the same with the stout yesterday, and I sort of started feeling it. I got dizziness in the brain, as they say on the ingredients. That's not bad. I quite like that. So what's the verdict on Harvey's Christmas Ale? Well, I bought it thinking it was a Christmas ale, And then when I got it and I saw it as a barley wine, they've classed it as a barley wine, alarm bells rang. Now I know it's ambiguous, the classification of what's a, barley wine, old ale, old British ale, etc., etc. But on its own merits, I think they've just gone to the border of the super sweet, high spirit alcohol, not very drinkable, strong ale, and they've just stopped just right on the edge and brought you back a little bit. It's full of fruit. There is a touch of biscuit malt. To be honest, I'm getting more caramel malt than biscuit, but it's nice. It's all about the fruit in this. It is, as they say, it is like a Christmas cake. It's got all the fruits you get in a Christmas cake. I quite like it. I couldn't drink a lot of it though. Even though it's super drinkable, I think a pint would be my limit. It's just, I think that sweetness would just get to me after a while, that fruity sweetness, and I don't know, it would just become a bit, I think a pint and a half in front of a fire of a Christmas would be enough for me. Get a nice little buzz going, and yeah, that'd be it. But it's not bad. It's definitely got character. It's definitely got taste. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. And I'll recommend it if you like your strong British ales. If you're not a fan of the spirit alcohol and not a fan of the intense sweetness, you're going to like this, because it just sort of pulls you back, I think. And it's nice. It's definitely worth an 8 out of 10 from me. And yeah, recommended. Don't do what I do and drink it in July. Drink it at Christmas. You can see why this is a Christmas beer. So yeah. And remember, beer is working class champagne.